Ladies and gentlemen, heels and heelettes, welcome back to another episode of Blunt Impact. Chris G, once again joined by my tag team partner, the three-time baby making champion Ness. We form the Pot Heels. We are joined by our co-host, Mary Jane. I got a little bit of Mary Jane this week, but nevertheless, I have Mary Jane. Just before we get into everything, want to give a quick shout out to our very own Stat King for that beautiful introduction music, and a shout out to our producer for making that beautiful intro video. By producer, I am talking about myself. Gotta put myself over sometimes. But yes, beautiful all around. Beautiful team effort. Barry Horowitz, myself. Fuck it. This is a Joints and Jabronis. We're gonna keep it that way. But another episode of Impact Wrestling. Ness, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling mighty fine, man. It's been a good day, good evening, and couldn't wait to review this episode of Impact, especially coming off the heels of Sacrifice, which, if you guys haven't, make sure you get over to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, catch the Sacrifice roundtable review with myself, Chris G, and our very own True Heel Phenom SP3. Run them numbers up. We got a lot of views on that video, more than I actually expected for our live. So yeah, just keep pushing them, bumping the budget, so SP3 can give us some more incentives and perks. Not those type of perks, good perks.
Yeah, no perk angle over here.
Nah.
Yes, as Ness said, if you haven't watched that roundtable yet, we encourage you guys to do so. If you're new here to the True Heel Heat channel, we encourage you guys, please press that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, like this video, share this video with everybody in your family, even the infants. They're going to be talking and hearing and listening to us eventually, so you might as well get them started early. Comment, all that good stuff. We are covering the March 16th edition of Blunt Impact. But before we get into it, we are going to light our Mary Jane. We are going to count down together from 3 all the way to 1. We encourage everybody at home, if you're going to light something up, blunt, pipe, bong, joint, whatever you got, light up with us. Ness, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
All right. We're going to go 3, 2, 1. If this happens to be on Cinco de Mayo, I'm going to count in Spanish. Just a random thought. But 1, let's light up. All right.
Weed smoking's international.
Yes, it is. There is no bias when it comes to weed smoking.
All right, can I say this real quick? It's funny you say that, because we're recording this on the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. So the world has their green, and we got our green. St. BLUNTRICK'S Day. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's going to be the name of this episode. Yeah.
St. BLUNTRICK'S Day. To be honest, I didn't wear a lot of green today.
I didn't.
So when people ask me where's my green, I said it's rolled up in some brown, and I'm going to smoke it later. Easy as that. Nice and simple. Let's jump into this week's episode of Impact. We get the fallout and recap from Sacrifice that happened this past Saturday. Good card. We encourage everybody not only to watch the roundtable, but if you have the time, watch the pay-per-view itself or the Impact Plus special, whatever you want to call it. Solid card. Of course, we have Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown on commentary. And our opening match is the New Japan Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling Tag Team, the new Impact Tag Team Champions, Finjuice. And they are having a non-title match against Triple XL. Solid opener, nothing crazy. Just more of a back and forth until Finjuice gets the momentum and eventually gets the win. The Good Brothers interrupt. They blame the loss on each other, but it all comes down to them being unprepared and hungover, of course, because that happens most of the times for them. We have a little mini brawl. Finjuice is taking the titles to Japan. They have to do a Good Brother tour. They might even defend the titles in Japan, but they will be back in April, just in time for Impact Rebellion to put the titles back up against the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers get their rematch. They are informed by Scott D'Amore after they barge into his office. And he says, listen, I'm going to Japan. They'll be back for Rebellion. That's where you're going to get your tag team title rematch. So the match was what it was. What I want to know from you is there a chance that FinJuice loses the Impact Championships at New Japan, in New Japan?
That honestly was a thought that I literally just had, like, while we're recording this. That was something didn't think about, because it's just like, all right, not that it's too much, but that'd be expecting too much. Like, honestly, like I said, going into it, I was just like, yo, maybe they'll get it. Then we were like, nah, Good Brothers are in a high profile, storyline right now. Losing the titles wouldn't happen. So we've already been wrong about that. So to say that FinJuice, I'm actually going to stick with this. I don't see them losing the titles if they do defend them in New Japan. The reason being is because they already have a set feud going on with the Good Brothers. So it wouldn't make sense to introduce a new team into this storyline when you already have one. They already have history, dated back from Impact to New Japan. Just to shoehorn another team in there, that's doing too much. That's doing too much Impact / New Japan. So let's not do that type of bake booking. Let's just keep it on FinJuice. Let them, if they do defend the titles, obviously let them retain to show that they're fighting champions. Give them momentum going into Rebellion to make this match that much more meaningful.
Yeah, I'd rather see them retain unless, and this is just fantasy booking. It's not even bait booking because I don't think it's going to happen. But the only way I can see them losing the belts is if they lose them to God, and we have a God Good Brothers feud, either here in America or
I wouldn't
Japan.
be
Who
wrong.
knows?
Yeah, I'd be for that. I
But
wouldn't mind seeing that.
I mean, that makes the most logical sense. But
Because
who knows?
that's a whole other story. But they haven't.
Yeah,
I mean, they're kind of playing that on TV, but it's one sided though.
and Twitter though, Tama did tweet or did subtweet the Good Brothers saying that they lost their number one Impact lost their number one tag team titles to the third best New Japan wrestling tag team. So I assume God is one, and Ishimori and El Fantasma would be two since they are Bullet Club. But yeah, just we'll see what happens. Next up, we have Rhino, the newest member of Violent by Design, with, of course, Violent by Design. And we forgot because Rhino was so off of TV for a while that we forgot he has the Call Your Shot trophy. So he actually
Yeah,
has a title shot in his grasp whenever he decides to use that. He is going against Jake something, who is accompanied by the Beer Guns. Short match, back and forth. Some brawling outside causes a distraction. Rhino hits him with the gore. He gets the win. We have a post-match beatdown on the baby faces. We have a nice little gore party where Rhino's goring everybody. And Violent by Design stands tall. Good segment to make them feel stronger than they already are. I'm just waiting for the next step in their development, I guess. I like the addition of Rhino, but Heat still lingers in the back of my mind. So I'm curious to see where they go with that. How'd you feel about this?
the match was short. Like you said, it was to make Rhino look strong. They got to explain what the fuck happened. That's what I'm waiting for. Like, I thought they were going to talk about it. They try to play it up on commentary. Like, how could, like, how dangerous is Eric Young that he can get into the mind? Like, he's manipulating the match. Like, on the outside, he was just talking to Rhino. So they're like playing it up on commentary, saying, he just get in your head, just manipulate, you play these mind games. So, like, we need an explanation as to how Rhino said, hey, these niggas just jumped me, took me out of action. Now I'm going to help them. That would help a lot. I bake book this shit. Please, at least let me know, of all people, to what the fuck's going on. But again, Rhino had to look strong. I think that's another actually, he's going to come up, because while they were, outnumbered, the beatdown is Violent by Design's 4 guys. It's just Jake something and the Beer Guns. It's 4-3. So I'm guessing, eventually he's going to come back. He evened the odds, and we just take it from there. But again, I really need an explanation as to how this team was formed, how Rhino decided to be a part of the same group that took him out. I think you just owe your fans at least an explanation for that.
I'm sure they'll get into it with like a vignette or a promo or something within the next few weeks.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully it's a vignette because their volleyball design vignettes are fucking fire.
that and they're pretty explanatory. Like Eric Young really goes in depth on last time with the whole Diener thing. He went pretty much in
Yeah.
depth in how what he was trying to get Diener to accomplish. So I see something similar like that happening. Next up, we have Caleb and Tennille backstage, and they are talking to their team. It is a 6-on-6 knockouts tag team match. She is teamed up with a bunch of heels. We'll get to that. She's just she tries to call them Tennille and the Followers as their team name. They're not having it. Deonna Purrazzo is on her team. She's trying to provide guidance as the knockouts champion. But then Fire and Flavor is also there too, so they cut her off. We are double the champions because we're tag team champions, so you should listen to us. Deonna basically gets everybody motivated, succeeds in motivating everybody, and they're all on the same page for now. Even after Fire and Flavor called Susan and Lee Beavis and Butthead, which I thought was a nice little touch. But we go to the match. It is Tennille Dashwood, Fire and Flavor, Deonna Purrazzo, Susan, and Kimberly versus Havoc and Nevaeh, Jordan Grace, Jazz, Alicia Edwards, and ODB. Now, of course, 6-on-6 is going to be a car crash, but it wasn't a clusterfuck car crash. Nice double suicide dive by Sasha Steeles and Jordan Grace to everybody on the outside. Goes to a commercial break. We pretty much get the one woman in, one woman out spots between all 12 women. Eventually, the heel team argues they're not on the same page. It causes a little distraction. The ring clears out. It's only Jazz and Kimberly, and Jazz makes her tap out. Fun little showcase, I guess, for the women. You get 12 women on one match. You get them a little time, a little spotlight. Why not? I'm here for it. How'd you feel?
Yeah, it was decent for what it was. You already know anything like this isn't going to be like amazing. It was decent. But from like the opening segment with Tennille and just everybody, they couldn't even get it together then. That was pretty much the precursor of what was going to happen in the match. Like they were arguing, bickering in there and just carry over during the bout. And hey, the face, like they didn't even show the face. They didn't even come out together. Like all the heels came out by themselves. Like you guys aren't focused together. All the faces came out together as a team. Like there was no argument, there was no bickering. They had it in the bag from the start of the match. So yeah. And it was Kimberly. So she, if it would have been like Tasha Steeles, Kiera Hogan, or Deonna Purrazzo, Jazz could have got another title shot. But Kimberly ain't got no gold. I love Kimberly. She's thick as shit. I shouldn't even say that. I'm gonna say it anyway. She can wrestle as well. Let me say that because people are like, "Oh, you sexist." No, she can wrestle. Kimberly is a great in-ring talent. She can definitely wrestle.
She could.
But
I enjoy it. Next up, we have a match against Rohit Raju and Shera. They are against each other now. They are no longer compadres, for lack of a better term. They got physical last week a little bit, so they decided to have this match. It's nothing crazy, more just to showcase the strength and power of Shera more than anything. Powerful guy. He looks impressive, but he needs work. His footwork and shit. He wrestles just like a generic big man. Yeah. Not a lot of aura around him yet either.
Not a lot of movement. It was like stand in the spot. Stand in the spot and hit you with a move.
Definitely. I mean, he looks impressive though, so you got to start with that. Maybe they could build something up. But it's his strength and power versus the speed and shit heelness, if you may, for of Rohit Raju. And in the end, Rohit Raju uses the almighty roll up and puts his feet on the rope to get the win. Yeah, man. I mean, I like Cher's look, but we got to see more. Hopefully, they work with him. How do you feel about Cher? Not even the match. How do you feel about Cher?
Yeah, because honestly, I think he has potential. He definitely has potential. I didn't see him before when he was first in Impact, but from what I see now, like he definitely has what's the word? Fuck it, I'll just say potential again. He definitely has the potential. He can. You can tell he can move. He just needs to move more. Like he's too stiff, not in stiff and like hard hitting, but stiff and like just stationary. He doesn't really do much. But that might be me nitpicking because I see a lot of big guys that can actually like move. You don't even have to be as like fast as cruiserweights or doing high flying moves or anything like that. But no, they just bring that intensity. He has intensity, but he doesn't bring enough of it, in my opinion. So I feel as though he's probably just still got to work on his character, work on his personality. Once he gets all that flowing, it'll dwindle over into his matches. He just got to like bring more of a presence about himself.
Yeah, I definitely want to see more from him. The guy's traps are massive. Looks like he got fucking sacks of potatoes on his shoulder.
Yo, like he could like if he worked on his in ring shit, he could definitely be like top. He'd probably fucking be what you call it, Impact World Champion at some point if he like
The
got himself
problem is
together.
the problem is that we are in the evolution of the big man right now. You got guys like Luchasaurus, Brian Cage,
Oh yeah, there's
Jace
definitely better.
Funky.
He's
You
not
got you
touching none
got
of them
big
niggas.
guys. You
Hell
got big
no.
guys that flip around and shit like that.
Oh
So
yeah,
his ceiling with the base that we're seeing right now, his ceiling is
yeah.
Great Okan. So
And let me tell you, I think he's on par with Great Okan, but I'll still rank him over Great Okan because Great Okan fucking sucks. He's terrible. Oh my god.
Next up we have Willie Mack congratulating Rich Swann. He wants to celebrate, wants to go party, but Swan's like, I gotta handle business first. I've been hearing some shit. So he goes out to the ring. He don't like Moose, but he respects Moose. Gives him his respect. Talks about having this monkey on his back, and that monkey is Kenny Omega. Because now he knows he is gonna have a one-on-one title versus title match against Kenny Omega at Rebellion. Got pinned in January during I forget the name of the Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill is when he pinned in that 6-man tag. And that he's hyping up the title versus title. Don Callis interrupts with his shitty classical music.
Yeah,
That's how you get heat, brother. That's how you get heat. He's proud of Rich. Rich is his guy. He fought for Rich to get the title opportunity against Eric Young. When Rich Swann was hurt and he wanted to retire, he fought for Rich to come back to rehab and come back stronger than ever. But as proud as he is, Don Callis was always one of those guys that liked the shinier car, the cooler toy, the hotter woman, that piece of trash. And it just so happens that his hotter woman, his bad bitch, is Kenny Omega. His bad bitch is Kenny Omega. He had a good wholesome woman in Rich Swann that he loved.
Nah, yo.
Treated him
That's
right.
really how it
But
is.
then he found the bad bitch in Kenny Omega, and now that's what he's doing. He's with Kenny Omega. The invisible hand helped Rich achieve his dreams, and now he's gonna help Kenny achieve his. Puts over the one-winged angel. It's in the back of Rich Swann's mind every time. It haunts him in his dreams. When they have parties, his wife is like, he's telling the guests, don't bring up fucking the one-winged angel. The most protected finisher, and deservingly so. It is a beautiful finisher. And I just like Don Callis going off. One-winged angel! One-winged angel!
Yeah,
As
he
when
was
he's talking
bugging.
about being there, as he calls Kenny's biggest matches, and he hits people with the one-winged angel. Just beautiful shit from Don Callis. One of the best promos of 2021 already. This is how you build to a historic title
Definitely.
versus, to the point where it even looks like Rich Swann is kind of doubting himself, or he's not doubting himself, but he knows that this is true, that One Wing Angel is in the back of his mind. So I love this. It makes me more excited for the match. I can't wait. How'd you feel about this?
This is my favorite segment of the night. My boy, the unified world champion of Impact, couldn't be more proud of him. So proud. Fought hard. And now he's at the pinnacle. If you guys watch Dynamite, you'll get. Anywho. Yeah. Don Callis is that asshole you love to hate. When he came out, he condescendingly puts Rich Swann over because he's like, yo, I fought for you. And that's some real shit. Like if he actually brought Rich Swann into the company and put him in his positions, I know it might be storyline, but Don Callis does work backstage. Like he's that guy around there. So this can all be true in a real sense. But yeah, he's just like you said, he called this nigga bad bitch. Yo, Kenny Omega is the next big thing, and in Don Callis' mind, Rich Swann is not. So I don't even understand why Rich wouldn't even understand that, because you see Don Callis more on Dynamite than you see him on Impact. Like you already get them type of vibes. And it's going to be who is he going to put in a better position pretty much at this point. He already told him it's going to be Kenny Omega, so he's just like, you're fucked pretty much at this point. But it was great. I enjoyed the favorite segment of the night.
Absolutely. And before we get into the main event, we are going to go through a few other segments that occurred throughout the card. So feel free to chime in on anything you might have liked. This week we get another paid ad from Tony Khan. But this week he's all business. He's putting over the Dynamite card, St. Patrick's Day Brawl, Bash, Fight, Crash, Stomp,
Slam.
Slam. There we go. Slam. I said every other fucking word. Yeah.
That's like Smash.
A Slam could have worked. That could have worked for Slam too. But yeah, nothing too much to note here. It's different though because he is all business. He's usually cutting ass and telling
why? You wanna know why? Because it was that fucking the barbed wire exploding match and shit. After that shit went up in flames and everybody hated it, he knew he couldn't talk no shit. I mean, he could have, but he knew he was like, I fucked up. So here, we're just gonna be straight business. I can't talk shit this week. I mean, I'm going. He does talk shit, but he's just like, I can't talk too much shit.
Yeah, but this is the second Dynamite since the.
No, I know that, but he's probably still feeling the effect. They still talking about that shit.
Maybe.
He might bounce back next week.
Yeah, hopefully, because I like snarky little Tony Khan.
Yeah.
We also have, after the Good Brothers interrupt Scott D'Amore, Tommy Dreamer goes in there. He's not happy with the tag team titles, leaving Impact. Scott D'Amore gets triggered and he's under pressure and he's trying to forge relationships with other countries, trying to make Impact a better place. He's like, if this shit is so easy, why don't you do it? Why don't you book the next card, the next Impact Plus special, which just happens to be the same day as WrestleMania Night 1. And he wants Tommy Dreamer to write the card. You be the booker. You be the fucking commissioner for the night. And Tommy Dreamer already had the card written up. Gives it to Scott. Scott likes it. So Tommy Dreamer. Hardcore Justice. We'll see what happens. That will be, I guess, the final precursor to Rebellion. But it might just be a couple decent grudge matches. We'll probably see the main event. When we talk about this episode's main event, it'll probably lead until that maybe that event's main event. But next up we have Matt Cardona, Eddie Edwards backstage. He's just chopping it up. Brian Myers walks through. He's like, fuck, man, I can't get away from these guys. But Cardona just wants to talk. Eddie Edwards bounce. He's like, come on, we're bros. Like, what's your problem? Like, why do you keep acting like a dick every time we're here? And Myers says he came here to do things on his own. And he doesn't want Matt Cardona there. He tells Matt Cardona to get lost. I actually like this. It made Brian Myers kind of serious for a second. And I liked it. I like the tension. Keep teasing the tension between the two. I would love to see a match between them.
Yeah, that was like the most I actually felt Like I gave a fuck about Brian Myers. He's like, yo, man, I'm always in your shadow. Like, I just want to do my own thing. This is supposed to be for me. But it's like, all right, if I don't know how he sees it. He don't want to be in the shadow. I understand that. I guess like this is like Edge and Christian light or diet Edge and Christian type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this is the problem because I guess Edge was the bigger star, but Christian was the better wrestler. Zack Ryder is the bigger star and better wrestler than fucking Brian Myers. Like, he doesn't even have the audacity to even be upset. He sucks. Like, I like his character, his heel character, but I hate his in-ring ability. It gets on my nerves. He wins with a
He's
fucking
a heel,
clothesline.
bro.
Like, he doesn't even do nothing in the match to make the win with a fucking clothesline.
Called the Long Island Lariat. No, that's not. That's not what it's called. I don't know what he does. I
It's
think
called
he's from Queens.
the roster cut.
Oh, the roster cut. That is actually a dope name though.
It is, but it's a stupid move that is named after.
Finally, we have Ace Austin. We got an interview. Chris Bay interrupts. He brings up the fact that he beat uh, Ace Austin last week before he won the X Division Championship, of course. And he wants the next shot at the title. He's followed by Josh Alexander, who also wants a shot at the title because I think he also might have pinned Ace Austin or something along that nature.
And he made Chris Bay submit.
There you go. And then comes in TJP. He goes to the front of the line. Ace Austin says, get to the back of the line. You just lost. TJP takes a couple steps back. Says he just came from Scott D'Amore's office. And he's getting his rematch next week. So he skips back to the front of the line, talks a little trash, and leaves. I'm here for the rematch. Get it out the way.
Yeah.
Let's see Ace and Chris Bay at Rebellion.
Yeah, I agree.
Josh,
Or Josh Alexander. Anybody but TJP.
Yeah. Or like I said, I'll even take 4 guys. I said it on the roundtable. I'll even take all 4 division match. If you really want to make Rebellion popping, do a fucking X Division match.
You said Ultimate X.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Ultimate X match.
I don't think they would do it though. I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
It's been a while. They should pull it out the hat. Why not? So our main event is Sami Callihan versus Trey Miguel. Finally, after weeks of Sammy talking shit, Trey Miguel getting in his feelings, playing mind games, going to people's wrestling schools and fucking with their trainers and students. We finally get the match. In the beginning of the show, we get a Sammy glitchy promo, and he's talking about how Trey Miguel has no passion and he's gonna embarrass him. Nice little promo though. I like the way they built it with the glitches and all the technical issues. Really plays well into the presentation, you know? We have a hot start. They're fighting outside for the first few minutes. The match doesn't even start. They're just beating each other up. Trey Miguel with his innovative offense, of course. But we end that segment. He's getting fucking broken in half with like a Boston Crab kind of on the outside, and the ref is trying to break it up. Cut to a commercial break. Sammy's dominating the match. He brings Trey Miguel outside and basically kicks his ankle into like the ring post. Really starts working on the leg. The nice Boston Crab on the top rope. He's kicking his ankle into the turnbuckle repeatedly. After that, after he kicks his ankle into the turnbuckle, he's doing shit like that. After we get to the last commercial break, though, it breaks down. It's more of a back and forth match. Trey selling the knee, the leg, the ankle, everything, but Sammy's staying aggressive. He even bites Trey to get out of a submission right on the ankle. Trey had a nice spot where he runs up the stairs and out on the side and hits a nice little stunner for 316 day onto the floor. Trey is about to dive towards the end of the match and hit Sammy with like a double stop, but Sammy uses the ref as a distraction and gets the win with the package power drive. So solid main event. The only really gripe I had, like if I had a nitpick, is just like Trey Miguel goes 0 to 100, but he went 0 to 100 after basically getting his leg worked up, and he barely sold the leg injury. It's just a little thing to nitpick, but it bothered me. I don't know why. more from Trey. But I like this match a lot. It was a really good match, and I hope they have another one because 30 finish. So technically, we'll see. How'd you feel about the match?
It was a great main event. Like you said, Sammy was definitely dominating this match. I felt like this was Sammy's match with a couple of Trey Miguel spots. That's pretty much what it was. Yeah, he was selling it. He was selling the leg at first, but then, like you said, he just came out of nowhere with the springboard stunner. I didn't even realize it was fucking 316 day. Duh, that shit was dope. I give him props for that. But yeah, I'm trying to understand the story because it's like Sammy says Trey Miguel has no passion. I'm like, what is this? What is his passion that he's talking about? You know what I'm saying? Trey Miguel shows up, puts in work. He might not get like, I guess like the big wins, but he's still established himself in Impact or just like in the pro wrestling world. You know what I'm saying? So he feels as though he has that passion. Like Sammy has yet to like really explain whatever passion. He just says passion. Like you don't have passion. Like what kind of passion? Like because he doesn't, do underhanded things. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, want to see where they go from here because Trey Miguel lost. So maybe get a rematch at Rebellion or Hardcore Justice. Hardcore Justice coming up. So yeah, they probably have another match there too.
Yeah, it feels like they don't need to have anything major on Hardcore Justice because they're saving it for Rebellion. So this would be the feud to main event and some
Yeah.
type of blow off fucking hardcore match. So I wouldn't mind, but all in all, it was a pretty solid episode of Impact. Again, the Rich Swann Don Callis interaction really solid, main event solid, and just good storylines. I will say I miss Swingers Palace, but I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it being off for a week, especially after we seen it on Sacrifice. So I'm fine. Ness,
My Swingers Palace.
I know. I'm a little disappointed myself, but it's all right. I'm sure we'll see it back in the future.
Got it.
Want to thank you guys for riding along with us on another episode of Blunt Impact. Ness, where can we find you at?
You guys can find me on Twitter at skinny_Kravitz. You can follow me on Instagram at skinny__Kravitz. And you can catch me on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I'm one half of a Review of Honor, or my man, the Stat King, the man of 1,004 numbers. And we review everything that goes on in the Ring of Honor ring. Clearly, you can catch me on Blunt Impact and Joints of Jabroni with my man Chris G. We form the Pot Heels. Shake the ropes. On the Roundtable Rebel, I pop up on the roundtables. I pop up on everybody's shows. And of course, you can always listen to my illustrious voice on True Toxicity.
Oh, yeah. You can find me at True Heel Chris G. You can find me here, of course, on Blunt Impact and Joints and Jabronis with the 3-time baby making champion himself, my man Ness. You could also find me for the time being, only a couple weeks left, Wednesday Night Warriors, sadly, with Romeo Anthony Colon, my brother. And you could also hear me on True Toxicity, where you can hear Ness's illustrious voice. So, for the three-time baby making champion Ness, for our co-host, Mary Jane, I'm your boy Chris G. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We are here. Hit those thumbs up. You know you want to. And we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.